I do want to talk just briefly here, you guys, about the rhetoric, the narratives surrounding Elon and Twitter. And regular viewers will notice a theme here, because I'm starting to see this all over politics and foreign policy discussions, etc., election discussions, all of it. This sort of like weird false dichotomy that people engage in when they talk about an issue that is causing conflict. So if I express hesitation that Elon Musk is actually going to somehow improve free speech on online platforms, if I express hesitation about that, if I express hesitation about billionaires continuing to buy up such important institutions in our society as like major social media outlets that we use to communicate and share information, if I express some hesitance about that, or a lack of faith that he's actually going to help things when he purchases Twitter, I'm immediately hit with, and this is like seriously, immediately hit with, oh, what, do you like it now? You think Twitter's great now? You think it's better now? Like, why do people do this? I'm like, I sincerely don't understand. My objection to Elon Musk owning Twitter is tantamount to my support for the current situation. I don't understand why people jump to project an opinion they dislike upon you in this sort of like, within this false dichotomy framing that the media likes to engage in, right? So just to be exceptionally clear about my personal position, I don't think Elon Musk buying Twitter is a good thing at all. I think it's actually quite a terrifying sign. That does not mean I want the Saudi crown prince owning Twitter, or whatever other billionaires are currently invested in Twitter. That does not mean I think Twitter's policies have been good. It means I don't think Elon buying Twitter is good. So I really want to encourage everybody to break themselves of these fucking false dichotomies, you guys. If you criticize NATO's role in creating the Ukraine situation, you get called a Putin lover, right? It's just like Iraq. Like, you remember, if you oppose the war in Iraq, you must love Saddam. Like, it's insane. It's incoherent. And yet this is how we engage on all of these issues. So just to make my position clear, I think Elon is a terribly concerning character. I don't like him having control or ownership over any important institution in our society. I don't like the power that he has from his wealth alone. I think that needs to be cut into. Like, I don't think that any movement in the direction of billionaires owning and controlling public speech institutions, I don't think that's good. I also don't like the current setup for Twitter, and I don't think that's good. So, like, just to make my position kind of clear on this, and encourage everybody not to assume another person's position based upon their criticism of one side or the other. It's no different, you guys. We all remember this in 2016 and in 2020. If you dared to criticize the Democrats, what did the partisan Democrats say to you? Oh, you Trump lover? You supporting Trump? Okay, it is all like petulant, toddler level political analysis, okay? And I have a thread here that goes into some of the reasons why I think you should be concerned about Elon Musk purchasing Twitter. This is by Joshua Potash. Great follow on Twitter if you're interested in following him. Elon Musk keeps tweeting that he loves free speech, so here's a thread with just a few of the countless examples showing he couldn't care about it less. There's the time he called Vernon Unsworth, the man who helped rescue 12 boys trapped in a mine in Thailand, a pedo guy, and paid $50,000 to an investigator to dig up Unsworth's life. Why? Because Unsworth called his failed attempt to help the boys himself a PR stunt, which is exactly what it was, by the way. Elon loves to do this. He takes some sort of catastrophe and claims, oh, I'll pay to fix it, and then never does. He did this with the homelessness. He did this with the, famine around the world. I mean, on and on. Number two, then there's the story of John Bernal, who was fired 6 days after posting a YouTube video of a Tesla accident. Elon fires employees who speak out about dangerous products. Wonderful. Then there's Martin Tripp, a technician at a Tesla plant in Nevada who blew the whistle on the company. Musk allegedly hired people to hack and spy on Tripp after he cast doubts on Tesla's environmental credentials. So another claim that Elon makes is, no, I'm one of the good guys. I'm trying to move us towards a more sustainable energy grid. Lots of claims that Tesla is not moving as far towards that end as they like to claim that they are. This is another example of Musk trying to dox and silence somebody who comes out and acknowledges that. Very pro-free speech when you are coming down on and silencing whistleblowers, right? Really pro-free speech kind of stuff right there. Number 4, Musk also is anti-free speech when it comes to labor organizing. Tesla worker Richard Ortiz was fired for trying to organize with the United Auto Workers, a move that was declared illegal by a labor board. I'm pro-free speech unless you're pro-worker. Then you can sit down and shut up and be silenced. Then there's the time Tesla asked China to censor comments that were critical of the company. So literally outright asking a powerful government to censor something critical of him. You're so pro free speech, bro. 6, there's also the time that Musk tried to put out an anonymous Tesla critic, an anonymous Tesla critic and skeptical investor who goes by Montana Skeptic to their employer. So he tried to get someone literally canceled, tried to get someone fired because they were critical of his company, really pro free speech. 7, he also has tried to use Twitter itself to suppress worker speech and organizing a move deemed illegal by the NLRB. So he's now using the company that he purchased to suppress free speech of workers, and people are still out here talking about Elon Musk is going to save free speech on Twitter. Are you fucking kidding me? These are just a few examples. We're sure to see many more. Soon as he takes over Twitter, his free speech bravado is just a mask to hide the ways he suppresses speech that go against his interest. More below. So, do not fall for the Elon Musk is going to save free speech nonsense, you guys. And also do not buy into the false dichotomy surrounding the issue online. So if somebody expresses concern about Elon taking over, do not assume that they support the current situation at Twitter. And if somebody expresses that they have issues with the current situation at Twitter, that does not mean that they support Elon Musk. So I want to break through some of the way that these things seem to be framed. And I want to encourage my audience to be very wary of billionaires buying important institutions. That should just always be a red flag. It really doesn't much matter what they say their intention is, you guys. We should always oppose billionaires owning the most important and vital institutions in our society. And I think at this point, quite frankly, the major social media outlets or companies rather, platforms are starting to kind of sneak into that category of being among the most vital institutions to our society, because they host so much communication and so much information sharing, and their algorithms can so dictate public thought and public discourse and narratives. And a lot of what politics amounts to is simply fighting rhetorical battles like that. So if you have this tool that can sway things in one direction or another, it's not good to have that tool in the hands of somebody who, because of their wealth alone, often stands to benefit from one side or another of these arguments. So you think when we're talking about taxing the rich, you think Elon is going to not use his new tool to influence in a direction that he approves of? You think when some story comes out about Tesla union busting or something dangerous about a Tesla product, or the recent recall, right? They just had to recall tens of thousands of cars because apparently they're actually really shitty at making cars. This is like apparently a well-known thing. So he's not even, he's a 100 billionaire for shitty cars and for combating the climate crisis in ways that are actually just kind of deceitful, according to the whistleblower that he tried to silence while he says that he's taking over Twitter to enhance free speech. I mean, you guys, please don't fall for this. Please don't fall for this. I also wanted to show you guys this. I'm sure some of you saw the ridiculous meme that he shared. My commentary is Elon's political analysis is toddler level. It's also completely wrong. The Overton window has moved steadily to the right for some half a century. This is embarrassing. For those who didn't see what Elon shared, he also he stole this meme without giving credit, by the way. Someone else put this together and Elon shared it without giving credit. But you can see there, he is saying that he started center left in 2008 and that his fellow liberal was pretty close to him. And then apparently in 2012, the left sprinted to the left. That just didn't, like, guys, that just didn't, like, what event is he referring to? That didn't happen. And there's still Elon sitting, a little closer to the center. And then he says by 2021, you have the woke progressive yelling bigot at Elon as he moves over to the right wing. Seriously, you guys. So first of all, I don't even know. I honestly don't even know where to start on this. So, like I said, it's factually inaccurate. The Overton window has objectively moved to the right for about half a century. And that's been backed up by studies, by the way. Congress has moved to the right, not the left, over the last 40 or 50 years. The Democrats are basically the same as they were in 2012. He used 2008 and 2012 as his sort of lines of demarcation as he moved through this supposed shift to the left. Guys, in 2008, Barack Obama was the president. Who was his vice president? Was it Joe Biden, who's currently president? In 2012, who was vice president? Right? Elon, by the way, he followed up and said, I proudly voted for Barack Obama, but now the party has moved too far to the left. Who's president, Elon? You think Joe Biden was like left of Barack Obama? Joe Biden was specifically selected as vice president because of how right-wing he is. Elon's like, oh, the party's moved so far to the left. Elon, who was Speaker of the House in 2012? Who's Speaker of the House right now? Have the Democrats moved way to the left? Same speaker. It's Nancy Pelosi, right? So the leadership in the Democratic Party is the same. Richie Neal, Steny Hoyer, right? These are the high-ranking Dems. In the Senate, you could argue that what's his face from Nevada, Harry Reid, retired. So Chuck Schumer took over as leader in the Senate among the Senate Democrats. Is Chuck Schumer some sort of like firebrand lefty? No, he's a center right neoliberal partisan Dem through and through. What the fuck are you talking about, Elon? What are you talking about? Look at the Senate leadership, right? My shitty senator out here in Washington State, Patty Murray. She's either number 2 or number 3. I think she's number 3 behind Dick Durbin and Chuck, if I have that right. Dick Durbin, is he new? He wasn't around in 2012? Patty Murray's been in the Senate for 20 plus years. Where have the Democratic Party moved to the left here, Elon? They haven't. They've moved steadily to the right, okay? And this gets to the main point. People make the mistake of viewing the political spectrum as though it is, first of all, as though you can do a 2-dimensional political spectrum. You can't. Not any sort of coherent or rational one anyway. But the other thing that people tend to do is they think of culture issues as defining your political ideology. And that could not be further from the truth. Left, right ultimately should come down to what are your views on who should control the means of production. The core of your political ideology is who should control the means of production. You are on the right if you say the capitalists and the managerial class and the business owners. And you are on the left if you say that the workers should have at least significantly more control than they currently do over the means of production. So in what respect have we moved to the left since 2008 or 2012 in those regards, Elon? But what he's doing is he's falling for the superficial, petulant, simplistic, childish rhetoric that like what you think about Mr. Potato Head or the genderless potato head or the M&M not being as sexy or whatever. What you think of Dr. Seuss, the people think that defines your politics. And that's what Elon is doing here. That's what Elon is doing here. So again, it's a thoroughly petulant way to look at political. It's a thoroughly petulant political analysis, and it's just flat out factually backwards and incorrect. So I just felt the need to point that out and sort of give you an idea of how unserious Elon's analysis of free speech issues to start with are, let alone his supposed intention or capacity to impact free speech in a positive direction. It's just not going to happen, you guys. Do not fall for this. Billionaires are going to come save us by buying up institutions that are important. Do not fall for it. So obviously ridiculous. Okay. And his meme here sort of showing how unserious his analysis is from the jump.